to Off Limits. Liberal, irreverent, and really, really gay. Welcome to the show, everybody. Thanks for joining me tonight here on Off Limits. Tonight we're doing the Brain Purge show, so I appreciate you listening. If you're listening live, thank you. If you're in the chat room, thanks for chatting and for joining the show tonight. And for those of you who may just be listening for the first time, you can always check me out at offlimitshow.com. You can check me out also on Spreaker.com. And Twitter. Also, the podcast is available on iTunes. If you want to subscribe to my podcast there, feel free. Also, follow me on Twitter, Off Limits Show, as well as on Facebook at Off Limits RAD, as for radio, Off Limits Rad, basically. Just wanted to talk about a few things tonight going on with me and also things just happening in the world at large. Nothing particular on my mind beyond the things I've already started to talk about tonight. So if you want to chime in, feel free to join the chat at Spreaker.com or on offlimitshow.com on the main page. You can chat there as well. And hey, darling Nikki, thanks for joining me tonight. I appreciate it there in the chat. Thank you for joining me. It's good to hear your voice earlier. I haven't heard your show in a while, so it's good to hear you and David on the show earlier talking about TLC, the TLC movie, which actually I was going to discuss tonight as well, a little bit, just anyway. People from the 90s, like me, which was my heyday, which was the days, that I look back on with great fondness because those are the days I was growing up and going to college and, high school and college. And, the best days of your life, really, I think, are those days of most people's lives. And for me, TLC represents that whole period because they were around that whole time and in the 90s and beyond, actually. And so when the movie, I was watching Wendy Williams about a week ago, and I heard the movie was coming on. And I was like, oh my God, I've got to record it. So I immediately set my TiVo to record it so I wouldn't forget. And I watched it last night. Last night I was exhausted. I'll tell you why in a minute. But I was really exhausted last night, and I was just ready to go to sleep. But I was so excited to see this movie, and it's a biopic about the group TLC and their journey from, obscurity to stardom, and what they had to go through individually, personally, as well as professionally. And, but I just had to see the story. So I stayed up and I watched it, and, from like 2 to like 3:30 or whatever, it was like 2.5 hours long, with commercials. I skipped those, but anyway, so it was really good. And I really enjoyed it. And, there's lots of things that happened that I didn't know about, wasn't aware of with that group. And for most people, they don't know or realize that they are the number one best-selling girl group in history, not just for R&B, but in history, even more than the Supremes, even more than Destiny's Child. I don't know, what's that country group, the Dixie Chicks, whatever. I mean, all of these people cannot touch the number of albums and the number of sales that these people have made. TLC is an incredible group. And the reason I think they were so successful and are still successful, but, were so successful in the 90s especially, was because they were a combination of, hip hop, rap, and sort of pop. And it was all kind of coming together because these three disparate women with disparate personalities came to form this one group. And it melodically worked so well. And also their writing, that they wrote most of the songs that they sang, and it was just really an amazing thing. And so they were like number one in America, the number one albums, from the get-go, and the number one songs, and people loved them, all races, all kinds of people. They were everywhere. And from the beginning, they were selling millions of records, right? Well, they were managed by Pebbles and L.A. Reid, whom were both married. And Pebbles, knowing that they were neophytes and didn't really know anything about the music industry, took advantage of them and had them sign contracts that were very, one-sided. So these girls signed these contracts, and they ended up they were selling millions of copies of records. Excuse me, sorry. Millions of copies of records. Oh my gosh. I don't know what's wrong with me. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Millions of copies of these records, and they were getting $25 a week stipend. $25 a week in stipend. And they kept asking about their contract and kept asking Pebbles about it. And every time that they asked her, she was indignant and said, "How dare you question me?" And, "Oh my God, I'm your sister," and blah, blah, blah. And I would never do that. But she would never let them see their contract. So finally they had to go to their attorney, which was also Pebbles' attorney, which is really a conflict of interest, and actually get to read their contracts. And once they did, eventually, they realized it was very one-sided. And so ultimately they ended up leaving them, buying their name back for $1 million a letter, which is not in the movie, but it was actually something they said on the Wendy Williams show, after they filed for bankruptcy so that they could reform TLC as their own group and actually own their name and their brand and, and their record proceeds. They had to buy, L.A. Reid made them buy back their name for $1 million a letter. So, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to play something and come right back. I'm so sorry. I'm having an issue here. I don't know what my deal is today. Let me see here. What's the fastest song I can play? I'm so sorry. I'll be right back after this. I apologize. I'll be right back. Oh, wait, can you hear me? Sorry. Sorry, I forgot to turn my mic off before I walked away. I'm sorry. And I was having an issue. Like, I kept swallowing and I couldn't, I couldn't, like, I don't know what the fucking deal is. Anyway, sorry about that. Yeah, I don't know why the music wasn't playing. That's weird. It's playing on my headphones, but you can't hear it. Oh, I bet you can hear it now, right? Yeah, sorry. That's what happens when I fuck up. Sorry about that. Anyway, back to the story. So what I was saying was, so they ended up buying back their name for $1 million a letter, which is what L.A. Reid made them pay for their name, which is so fucking mean. I mean, come on. The guy was an asshole, and so was his wife, Pebbles. And they just took advantage of them the whole time. Plus, they were going through these personal problems where Left Eye had major issues with not only her own issues with setting What's-His-Face's house on fire, but also kind of getting too big for her britches and thinking she should go solo and failing at that and having her own problems. And then, I mean, and What's-Her-Face having her issues with sickle cell anemia and the other one having her boy issues with Dallas Austin. So, I mean, it really was a crazy, crazy life these people had to live. And they all seem really, excuse me, they all seem really like good people, good natured. And they all came from, lower income households or whatever and had this major shot at stardom, and they really, really made it. And anyway, ultimately, obviously, they ended up making money finally and all that good stuff. But after 2 successful albums where they essentially were robbed of probably over $100 million, essentially by L.A. Reid and Pebbles. And so, as my friend David was saying today with his cousin, actually, Darling Nikki, on their show today at the 5x5, talking about TLC, mentioned that today on Twitter, there was a huge backlash toward Pebbles because of her involvement and how she treated this group and how she took advantage of them, etc. I mean, honestly, the woman is a total cunt. So, I mean, and this is to say that the things they're saying are true. And the reactions that Pebble has given and had leads most of us to believe that these things are very true. So anyway, that was the TLC thing. But it was a really great movie. It was good to see, their story. And it's an interesting story. And their music is timeless. It's amazing. It's wonderful. I love it. It's fantastic. And I can't tell you how incredible their music makes me feel. I mean, Waterfalls and God, there's so many. All their songs are so fucking good. I mean, it's like they could, they just came out with a 20th anniversary or whatever compilation of their best hits or whatever. And that actually is filled with all of their hits. And you can just listen to it back, song after song after song, back to back to back, and not be bored or have to skip ahead, okay? That's how good their music is. It's so amazingly good. So anyway, 5x5 says girl are no longer referred to women as gold diggers, but Pebble. Oh, yeah. 5x5 says that there's somebody had said that their girls are no longer referred to. Some guy on Twitter or something, I think he said he's no longer going to refer to girls as gold diggers, but as pebbles because she was a fucking gold digger. Anyway, so, excuse me. Getting back to what I was going to talk about a minute ago. So, I don't know if those of you who know me know that I've been working on my house for a while, and I've been building an addition. And my house is my project. It's, I'm, an architect, interior designer, and a realtor. Those are the things I do. And it is my laboratory. It's my project. It's something I love to do. It's an expression of what I think architecturally, etc. It's going to be when it's finished. But anyway, so there's 3 phases. Phase 1 was to do the addition, which is an 800 square foot addition actually it's bigger than that. It's like more like 1,000 square feet, including, because part of it's included, and that is the master bathroom expansion. But anyway, my mom's portion is 800 square foot addition that I built for my mother who was retiring. And I wanted her to be able to live with me in her old age, and as she gets older and I can take care of her, and she doesn't have to worry about, anything at all in the future, because she's worked her entire life. She's worked her entire life. I mean, really, since she was a kid, she's worked. And so since she was like at least 15, 16 years old. And so I just, I want her to be able to relax in her old age. And so that's why I did that for her. So anyway, over this past few weeks, I've been really extremely busy trying to finish that for final inspections and that sort of stuff, and trying to get it ready for her to move in. And so one of the things that I had to do was plumbing. And so I was actually trying to save about $1,000 almost in plumber fees to simply hook up
the shower, install